Welcome to Python with Andrew, and this is the third video looking at strings, and this time we're going to look at the string as a list and see what I mean by that. And as I've said right up front, the string, words like hello or hello everyone, nice and simple, but it's got a lot of power in Python and a lot of power that you'll use. So I'm going to look at what I mean by the string as a list and how do we use it and how can we not use it. So let's jump over to our code. So let's look inside the string. I'll introduce a word here that's hard to pronounce, but really important when we talk about lists. So some data types in Python are mutable and some are immutable. What that means is some you can change and some you cannot change. So a string is an example of an immutable object. In other words, you cannot change. So you cannot change the string. Okay? And we'll see an example of that in a minute. You can create a new string and you can add to that and all the new string stuff, or you can, if you like, rename an actual variable, but you never actually change the string. Once you've made it for good. And that's not a difficult thing or a bad thing for us to use. But so far, so we've used hello. I'm going to make a variable called, I'm going to call it words equals hello everyone. Only because I keep typing that in. I'm getting a bit lazy. So let me just use the word words and let's see how we can see it acting as a list. So if I print words, it would do exactly as you'd expect and print the hello everyone. That's fine. So when I say it acts as a list, all right, that means I can actually look at every element of the list, starting from element 0. So element 0 will be H, right? And I can then go into element 1, and so on, all the way up to, let's say, 10. Hopefully there's a 10. Okay, I can do that and I get the individual characters. So that's because the word is a list of characters. All right, and that's what I mean by it's a list. So it's a list of characters, H-E-L-L-O, and I can use every element of that and do some processing, whatever I want to do with that. Okay, so that's very valuable, but be careful. I can't try and print out, let's say 100, because there is no character 100. Let's see what error I get there. There you go, string index out of range. So if I try and get to the 100th character, and I've only got probably 14, 15, I can't count, then obviously I'm going to get an error message. All right? So we don't want to do that. Okay. I can do, if I do the length of the string words, what do I get then? So that will tell me the length of the word, and again, it gives me an error out of range because the length of the word might be accurate, but of course, we're starting at 0, so I need to -1. And that should give me the last letter, which is an E. All right. Let me get rid of those there, just to make it simpler. Clean up my code and print it again. E, right? So I can index and go to the length of the word, which is 2, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, I think 14, -1. There's an easier way in Python. We can go print words -1, and -1 is a special case where the -1 is the same as the last character. And I could do -2, -3, -4. So I'm working backwards. So I can look at those. Now, remember I said we can't change a part of the string. So if I wanted to I do words, actually, I don't need to print. If I go words, number 1, which is the E, I want that now to equal F, right? For some reason. Let's see what happens when I do that. Right? I get an error. And the error says the string object does not support item assignment. In other words, I can't change the value. Right? I could use the replace method to create a brand new string with the E changed to the letter F if I wanted to, but I can't actually go in and change the letter of this string here. It doesn't allow me. And the last thing I want to touch on, just like we can take the index, we can take a group. So I can go from 3 to 5, and that'll give me a substring. Hello. Hopefully I've got that right. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. Hello, and I can make that 3 to 7 if I get there. LO-E. So it gives me the 3rd one, 4th one, 5th one, and 6th one. Notice it doesn't give me the 7th one, right? Because if I print words 7, let's see what that gives me, all right? See, so it gives us the slice between the lower and one less than the upper. And we'll see that a lot in Python when we start doing, we want to look through a list or look through a string. It gives us up to the last one, not including the last one. Okay, so there's some short, sharp ways that we can use strings as a list. You can see that we can take a substring, we can get to individual characters. We can start from the front, we can start from the back. Becomes very, very powerful indeed. All right. That's all I want to cover today. Thanks again for watching Python with Andrew. Remember, if you have a chance, subscribe at the bottom.